Hi, welcome to the channel. If you've landed on this video, it's likely you've got questions about sourcing and what you need to look for. Now, if that is the case, I hope this video helps. I hope you find it useful. Now, if you do and you want to see more videos like this, please do click that subscribe button as there'll be plenty more to come. Now, if you're new here, my name is Emma, this is Destination FBA, and I sell on Amazon part-time via the Amazon FBA programme. So I started doing this back in January 2021, and I started to share this journey at the end of last year. So I try and include things in videos I think you'll find particularly useful, especially if you are new to selling on Amazon. So if you ever have any questions, anything you're not sure of, please do ask. If I don't know the answer, I'll do my very best to find it out for you. Now, we also have a great Facebook group. It's full of lots of friendly people, lots of helpful advice. So I would recommend you jump in there, get to know everybody, ask any questions you've got. So going back to sourcing, what is it we need to look for in an item? What is the must-have criteria? Now, it's not as simple as just finding an item in the sale and sending it into Amazon. There is so much we need to know, so much we need to be aware of. You should not be making any purchase unless you've thoroughly analysed it and you are 100% sure on that item. Now, whilst you can scan and analyse a deal on the Amazon Seller app, it provides you with very limited data. So I would say one of the first things you need to do within your business is sign up to a deal analysing software. Now, I'm using Buybot Pro and I have done for a long time now. I have tried a few other softwares, but this is definitely my chosen one. Now, not only can I analyse all those deals when I'm doing online arbitrage, but I can also use their app, which is called Buybot Go, for any retail arbitrage that I'm doing. So the app comes free with the Buybot Pro subscription, so it's definitely a nice added bonus, but I don't buy anything, I don't make any purchase until I've analysed it through this software first. So the key things we need to look for when we're doing that sourcing are our profit margins, return on investment, sales velocity, BSR, competition, and any IP alerts. Now, we also need to make sure that the item is actually an item we can sell. So are we ungated, or is it a hazmat item? Now, if it is hazmat, you need to be registered into the Dangerous Goods programme before you can send any of these items in. Now, if you do send hazmat items in and you haven't done that registration, Amazon do reserve the right to destroy the stock, so always make sure you've done this first. So when we think about those profit margins and that return on investment, we all work very differently. Now, we all have our own idea of what return we want, what profit margins we want, so what works for one person, what one person thinks may be a good deal, may not work for someone else. I used to work on a profit margin of 20% and a return on investment of 40%, but since I've been doing my unique bundles, this has more than doubled. Just set those margins to whatever works for you, and if the deals don't hit that criteria, don't make the purchase. Now, when you analyse any deal on Buybot Pro, you can see your profit margins and you can see your return on investment on this island just here. So on this particular item, we can see a profit of £1.74 and a return on investment of 18.81%, but this is outside of our set criteria, so it has an analysis score of 0. Now, next, we want to be looking at that BSR and that sales velocity. Now, you may find an item that looks great, it has a great profit margin, it has a great return on investment, but it has a very low BSR and very low predicted sales. Now, if the item just isn't selling well, you run the risk of it sat on Amazon shelves for quite some time. Now, this will cost you an additional storage fees and it will tie up that cash flow. No matter how good that profit margin is, make sure the item is actually selling. Now, again, when you analyse a deal on Buybot Pro, you get all of this information. So we can see that this particular item is in the top 1% for its category and it has a main BSR of 28. So this is an extremely popular item that sells very, very well. Now, if we just scroll down to the estimated sales calculator, we can see that the previous sales was 5,885 for the previous 90 days. And then it has a predicted sales for the next 90 days of 7,473. So there is no doubt in our mind that this is a great product with a huge amount of sales. So if we scroll down a little bit further, just to the Buybot Pro charts, we can see all the historical data just here. So we can see from this BSR line that it has been pretty consistent. Now, if we click through to the data for all time, just at the bottom here, and then zoom in from around September 2020 through to now, we can see all of the data for the last 2 years. Now, while sales were a little bit slower at the end of last year, they have remained really good since then. So we can assume from this that those sales are likely to remain very good going forward. Now, we really can get a lot of information from them charts. It's always worth having a look through, seeing what that BSR has done previously. So the next thing we want to look at is our competition. We want to see how many other sellers there are, we want to see what their stock levels are like, and we want to see what their pricing is like as well. We don't want to be buying in lots of stock if we just cannot compete. So if we take a look at the competition analysis, we can see details for all the other sellers. So we can toggle this on and off just here, so we can look at all offers, or we can look at prime sellers only. So down the left hand side we can see the stock levels, And if we just hover over the number, we can see the seller's name as well. Now all of these are clickable, which makes it great if you want to do reverse sourcing. So it'll take you direct to the storefront and it will show you all your competition's listings. Now we can also see what the current price is for each seller, and we can see the total number of stock for the top 10 sellers. Now it's always worth checking those stock levels and those prices before you make any purchase. Now if there is an item that was relatively slow moving but there's a lot of stock held within Amazon, you might want to give it a miss. Unless you can do something particularly amazing on that pricing, you can get a really low price and you can compete really well with everybody while still making a good profit. Now if all this data is looking good, so you've got a really good profit margin, really good return, the sales are really good, you need to make sure there are no known IP issues. So IP stands for intellectual property, and it's just a way that a brand can protect themselves against copyright. Now if a product is known to have previous IP issues, this will show as a red on the IP radar. Now we can see an example of this on this item, and this just means that you need to stay well away. If you receive an IP complaint on your account, you're putting your account at risk of suspension. A suspended account can't make any sales and it cannot withdraw any funds. Do not risk your account, stay clear of any items that are showing red. Now you also need to be aware of anything that's showing amber and make sure you do your extra research. Now Buybot Pro won't know of every single IP complaint out there, but they do have a very extensive database, so make sure you use this to help you. So you need to be aware of all those things we just spoke about. You need to make sure you carry out a thorough analysis of every single item before you make any purchase. This is just going to help to reduce those bad buys, limit the amount of time that stock's sat on Amazon shelves, costing you additional storage fees, tying up that cash flow. So if you have any questions at all, please do let me know, pop them below, jump in Facebook, I'll do my very best to help you. So that was just a few very simple things, but things you really need to be aware of, things that are really, really important when it comes to sourcing those goods. Now thank you as always for watching, take care, and I'll hopefully see you in the next video.